Sweet Talk is a weekly 20-minute podcast brought to you by the Continuing Education Workforce Training Division of Idaho State University's College of Technology. This podcast is part of our continuing outreach efforts, and the format is conversation. We're having conversations with businesses, professionals, entrepreneurs, community agencies, and in all cases, difference makers. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and SoundCloud. So subscribe today. Take 20 minutes and hear from people living in your community who are making a difference in your community. It's time to get started with Sweet Talk. Hello, everyone. This is Jason Batalden. I'm the Assistant Director here at Continuing Education Workforce Training, and this is Sweet Talk. And Paul, you're on the show today.
Yes, I'm always on the show.
Well, no. We talked about this, right? You and I both recently had little hiatuses from the show. We wouldn't and cut our own solo albums.
Yeah, I know, because sometimes work just gets in the way of the show.
That's right. So I like to think of it as Paul. Each went our separate ways. We cut our own solo album. And they didn't do so well, and now we decided, well, we probably better as a team than we are by ourselves.
Yeah, we are better as our Lennon and McCartney.
We just couldn't make it happen all by ourselves.
Yes.
But hey, we've got an exciting show today. Hey, real quick, Paul, though, I just want to throw out a reminder. When this episode airs, we will have 3 now episodes of the series.
Podcasting by...
See?
I know.
Yes.
A podcast about podcasting by podcasters.
That's correct. And episode 3 will, remember, we post on the last Friday of every month. And so we want to make sure that if you've been following that series, be sure to catch in and check in and get that 3rd episode in. Because Paul, we talk about, we're into our 3rd season here at Sweet Talk, and we've been nothing but learning how to do podcasts from day one. And the learning has never stopped, but we're hoping to share some of it. Right?
Yeah, hopefully we can cut down some of other people's learning curve that we had.
So, yes, right. And speaking of learning curve, and speaking of learning on the job, hey, that was a good segue.
Was it?
Yeah,
was it?
Yes. No, that was good. Speaking of learning on the job learning, there we go. We have a really cool guest on the show today. Her name is Emily Josman, and she is the Associate Director at the Career Center here at ISU. And the reason we're talking to her today specifically is because of the Career Path intern and internship program here at ISU. And Paul, we have a bunch, but I got to say the magic word before we talk anymore. And that magic word is welcome.
Welcome.
That's right. So Emily, welcome to the show. Please introduce yourself to introduce yourself.
I'll introduce myself to the invisible audience that I can feel will be very, very soon. Thank you, Jason. As he mentioned, I'm Emily Josman. I work at the ISU Career Center and help manage the Career Path internship program. I like puppies. I am a tourist and long walks on the beach.
There you go.
I help students get professional experience while they're in school and figure out what they want to do or what they don't want to do. And I've been I've been in the Career Center for 5 years. Really like my job, really like being able to help people, figure themselves out, make a difference, not just selling widgets by the thousands or whatnot.
Sure. Right. Right.
Yeah. And I don't know how in depth you want me to get. I can go more.
Well, maybe a little more context is our department actually takes in quite a few CPIs from your program. And the reason we do that is because our department is a non-credit department, and some we don't have all the access to the university resources. So we have to kind of create our own resources. That means we have to do our own marketing. We have to do our own creating of substances. We have to make our, put together our entire program sometimes. And a lot of the students from the CPI are in are going to school in programs that, can give us aid, and we can give them some actual practical experience.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I know that you guys have had some really, well, on one hand, excellent interns, but then also excellent opportunities for the internships as well. So we like seeing you guys take our CPIs and mold them and give them that experience. And I mean, it's kind of a win-win situation where you guys get stuff done, interns get great experience, build their professional resumes.
I was just thinking that it's a win-win. I mean, we've had quite a few CPIs over last 5-6 years, and every one of them has shined and added valuable, productive resource or input to our programs. In fact, to be perfectly honest with you, it'd be hard for us to do what we do without the CPI program.
Yep. And we hear that a lot,
Yep.
we hear that. And it's great because students bring in that breath of fresh air and that energy, and, and they gain that confidence of like, oh, this is real world work. This isn't just a project that we're playing make-believe. It's real, and it builds up that confidence. And you guys can get extra stuff done,
Right.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Paul.
Well, I know that we do give them real world experience or real work experience, and we actually take them on. And in many cases, our CPIs become part of our team. They will attend our team, our meetings to discuss upcoming projects, and we look at their input, not just the work that they do, but the actual ideas that they can bring to the table as incredibly valuable.
Yeah, definitely. And I know, so the last episode that you guys had, you had one of your past, was it a CPI? Was she?
Yes,
she was.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, it's amazing I shouldn't say it's amazing, because our students, I know that they're bright, they're ready to go, but when you can take a step back and look at how much one student can add to an organization or a department or an office, it's pretty incredible. And it's cool. I mean, that's like part of why I like my job, is I can get those warm and fuzzies of like, wow, we're doing some really cool stuff here.
Yeah. And I don't know if you noticed, but Jason and I are two older guys.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And to bring the CPIs in, it gives us a really new, fresher perspective on everything that we work on and that we do. Stuff that we may not have even considered. These CPIs can bring their ideas to the table, and also be able to implement those ideas and help us create wonderful things.
Yeah.
Right on.
And technology. We have a marketing intern for the Career Center, and it's like, you know how to do that? And every year I'm feeling older, but I still am like, I'm young, I'm hip, but technology wise, I'm way out of the loop.
Right. There's no way I'm that young or that hip, right? No matter, there's no way I can keep up with it. Emily, I guess just to put a little note, we love our CPIs, and I mean that in the purest sense, because when they leave, we are very sad to see them go. And that's how integral part. But with that being said, we're not the only department, nor is even working on college programs or departments the primary goal of the CPI program. So, especially for us, because we love CPIs, but we only know what they do for us. So can you broaden our understanding a little bit of this program?
Yeah, definitely. So we're in the 11th year of the program. And I haven't done a tally within the last few months, but so we're ending the fiscal year right now. So if we look at how many internships have happened just this past year, so July 1st to June 30th, we're at 917 internships this year. And that is with 872 students. So sometimes students have project-based shorter internships, and they'll do more than one.
Oh, yeah.
So, 900 to 1,000 internships a year is what we've been hitting the last 4 years. I think we're at over 7,500 internships total in that 11-year span. So lots of experiences that are happening to a really wide variety of our students. There's opportunities both on campus and off campus. So ISU departments, working with faculty, working with our research institutions, lots of things happening on campus, but then we also have off-campus opportunities. So let's see, I have my notes here, so I don't want to misspeak on my data that I've been collecting all year.
Right.
Yeah. Data that I'm in charge of. So 160 off-campus internships right now, 91 different organizations within the state of Idaho. The broad majority are in the Pocatello area, but we have in our satellite campuses and in those communities, Idaho Falls, Meridian, Boise, we do have internships. We had one, I think our first one in Twin Falls this past year was an education off-campus internship. So we're really trying to grow that off-campus side of things, but yeah. And then who's available? Anybody maybe who's listening who doesn't know
Right.
CPI program, who qualifies? Students can be freshmen all the way up to doctoral students. We work with all of the different programs and departments. The main thing that we look at is student has to be at least part-time, enrolled in part-time credits. They have to be in good academic standing. We don't want a student to, overburden themselves if they're already having difficulty being successful in their academic programs. And then it needs to be career or major related. So, and when we say that, we're not, hard and fast, you can't do it because, this is a history internship and you're an English major. Like, if you can connect the dots for us, then we're flexible with that. So those are the big requirements for the program. And yeah, we work with all colleges and programs, and we see a lot of students get hired directly after their internships because they proved that they're excellent and smart and already trained on the job. And it's again a win-win.
I mean, one of our previous podcasts was with Brenna, who was a marketing intern, and she is working for what bank, Jason?
DL Evans.
DL Evans Bank, and she said that she got her job. Part of the main reasons they hired her was her real-world experience that she got as an intern working with us.
Yep. Yeah.
So,
I hear that a lot with, there's all these quote unquote entry-level jobs that require work experience, that it's like, how does that happen if you don't, if you're just starting in its entry, doesn't make sense. So that's kind of like where we come in to fill that gap of, you have this real world work experience you can put on your resume or help you, get pulled up into the interview pool instead of
right.
So we've kind of, we've targeted why it's a real beneficial for the student, but what are the benefits for an employer? Let's say somebody's listening to the podcast and they are looking for interns or would like to be, what's the perk for them to get involved in this program?
Yeah, well, you bring that up and I'm like, I guess we didn't mention that all of our internships are paid. There's nobody's working for free. Nobody's doing that internship that you see in the movies where you're picking up coffee and dry cleaning.
Right.
You're doing it for free. No, we pay all of our interns right now. If you're an undergrad, you get $9 an hour. Grad is $11, and doctoral is $13 an hour. So you're gaining that experience while being able to afford a little more ramen.
And that right and that's being paid through the program, CPI program,
and that is
the employer doesn't pick up that cost.
Nope. So that's a definite benefit. We pay for students, they can work up to 20 hours per week, assuming that funding has been made to that level, available to that level. So the organization, they can choose to supplement the wage if they want, but we have companies that do that, and we have companies that don't do that, and they just get the wage
Yeah, we've had CPIs that have stayed with us for a modicum of time, and they do good work, and they deserve a raise. So we should kick in a little more so that they can appreciate, so we can show our appreciation for the hard work that they've done. So
Yes.
we will supplement.
Yeah. And we have organizations that, the great thing about our program is it's very large. We have a wide variety of internships that happen, but we are relatively flexible. We know that each internship is going to be special in its own way. And so like some organizations, they might kick in, a couple dollars on top of the wages that we provide. Or, I've seen up to like $10 an hour. So you're like the students, making almost $20 an hour, which is great. But we also have organizations that maybe they take the intern on through the CPI program for a semester or maybe 2 semesters, and then they quote unquote, graduate them into their own internal internship program, which generally those wages are higher as well. So it's kind of like a stepping stone, a try before you buy kind of thing.
Sure.
Yeah.
So take it out for a test drive, folks.
Yeah, exactly. And it's great if you like the student and you've gotten a semester or 2 of work out of them, and you can hire them straight off the bat. There's not the onboarding, there's not the interviews and all that, red tape that can take time and money away from the organization. So it's a really cool program.
So from my perspective, are there employers lining up at your door, asking, begging, crying for interns? Is that a problem? The problem you have too many?
So the problem that we're seeing right now, and I don't know if it's, post-pandemic or what, is we do have a lot of, especially off-campus positions open right now, and we just don't have students that are applying for them.
Oh, we need to get the word out. Okay.
Yeah, and that's before, in past years, because we've been trying to grow off campus. We see the benefit of building that community partnership for the university as a whole as well. We were having issues finding funding. Now, President Satterley is, said, this is important. We want to do this. We'll find funding for this. So we've gotten the funding. We've gotten organizations interested, and now it's like, where are the students? Where are they? But
I think it is the pandemic, and I think once we return in the fall, which knock wood, they'll probably see an increase in interest in the CPI.
How do you get the word out to them, though? How do we let students know? I know how we recruit, but I'm not sure that's, well, how do we, yeah. Well, wink, wink, nod, nod, no. What I do is I reach out directly to professors on campus that have students, in their programs, whatever college of business, English department or whatever. And I have a nice little spiel I give them and a short little job description. And then I beg and ask, can you please pass this to your students? And if any of them are interested, come talk to me. And so I don't know if that's the way it's supposed to be, but I figure what I do at that point is I'm kind of eliminating the worry about whether or not the student would qualify for the job we're looking to place them in, because I'm asking for applicants from a specific field of study that I already know qualifies.
Well, and I did the same thing today. I reached out to a department head in the media program because I need an intern for editing. So I called the media program directly and say, hey, do you have a student who might be interested in an internship? Again, because I know that they'll qualify because they're in that program.
Yeah, and that's totally fine. Like, that's word of mouth, and reaching out directly to departments happens all the time. I have double checked with HR. They said that's completely fine for student employment. You don't have to post it. There's no requirement, or it has to be open for a certain amount of time. We get the word out through, so we have Handshake, which is an online job posting site. Outside organizations and departments within ISU can post on that. You have to create a profile. You have to have like a website. We do a little bit of like, not a little bit. We make sure that they're legitimate job postings also. Sure. So Handshake, on our website, we also, under this students, so if you go to the Career Center's website and you go to CPI and you look under students, we have a list of open positions. Some of those already are on Handshake, but some of the off-campus positions, they would prefer that we liaise between them, and they don't want to fill out the Handshake position for whatever reason. So right now we have, I think, about 30 open positions for off-campus internships that are available. So anyone listening that's interested, check it out. Come, we'd love to see you guys come and join the CPI team or family or whatever you want to call it.
Or even take advantage of the opportunity. I mean, I think what, at least how I know Paul and I approach it, as well as the other coordinators in our department, is, I mean, it's an opportunity. It's not only an opportunity for us to find help in doing what we're doing, but it's an opportunity to help that student have an experience that, you know, is positive and encouraging and gives them a kind of a true taste of what's going on. So, you know, it is, you know, I think just get that message out to students. Please take advantage of this opportunity.
Yeah. And there's,
please.
I mean, we've had like the city of Pocatello was looking for an intern to go around and identify trees in the city. You know, like how cool is that? Like you would get a car to drive around and you go and look at trees and you get paid. Like, I can participate.
That's right.
Yeah.
Is it a part-time weekends kind of job? Because that might be fun.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You know, with my interns, I approach it as, you know, it is a learning environment for the real world. So not only do I have them work on projects, but I also try to teach them a little about being a team member in a business organization and how you should approach, you know, when you're a working environment, and try to instill some of those real world soft skills in a real work setting.
Yep. Yeah. And that's one of the career readiness competencies that us at the Career Center, you know, you want to build leadership, you want to build teamwork, communication, understanding of like diverse populations, that kind of stuff. So yes, you get the hard skills, you know, the career relatedness, and then all those small, minute tricks and even like confidence comes from internships that that's not the main goal that you're setting out, but it's an added benefit that
it is.
It is. Now, a quick little story. Years ago, I had a young gentleman who worked for me. He was actually in a business major, and I took him on as an editing intern, because right nowadays, almost any career you can say you're going to run into video production at some point. And he worked for me for a semester, and he enjoyed the editing so much, he changed his major.
Yes.
And then he helped us put together the podcast.
Yeah.
And then when he graduated, he went and started his own podcast. So we just liked that guy so much, and we were just really cool that he had that opportunity to kind of do that.
Was he an international?
Yes, he was Sharoj.
Yes.
Yes.
He's lovely.
He's such a good. I say kid. You know, they're the 20s, and I say kid, but he was such a help, and he's such a kind-hearted individual. And I worry because you know, he changed his major based on being an intern for me, and I always go, if he winds up homeless on the street, it's my fault.
It's your fault, Paul. It's all your fault. You encouraged the kid to chase his dreams, and then he fell flat on his face. You know, if you haven't figured it out, Emily, we really are proud of our career path interns. We really do. We've had great experiences with them. You know, I don't know also what kind of preparation you guys do there at the Career Center to help students as they prepare for those career path interns. And I know we kind of ran out of time there with the timer going off and all, but, you know, I will just say that we have never run into an issue of those horror stories you hear about, you know, the modern day younger workforce. Yes, there's always things you have to address, you know, professionalism and how to respond and be a part of the team and communicate and work, but it's never been as a result of, you know, it's always been just as any intern, this is how things look different in a professional environment versus an educational environment. And so we love our interns. We're really proud of them. You kind of heard from our previous podcast that we like to follow up on them and stalk them a little bit and ask them how they're doing. So, yeah.
Little dose of healthy stalking, you know.
Yeah, I shouldn't have said that aloud, so I'm sorry. I wasn't what I meant, but we do keep tabs on them. You know, we love it when we hear from them and hear how they're doing. So.
Well, all I can say is having interns, and we've had them for a number of years now. If you're an organization and you're out there and you're looking to help develop the skills and also benefit from some help, the CPI program is absolutely wonderful, and you should check it out.
And how do they get a hold of you, Emily?
So if you're interested in applying to work with the program, we have an online application on, isu.edu/career. And then on the left-hand side, there's a CPI program link. And that will link you to the application. And if you can't find it, Emily Josman at isu.edu. My last name is spelled kind of strange. So just go to the Career Center. You can find me there.
Very good. Very good. And Emily will include some links on our descriptions there if, so that they get them, so they can find it on where they're looking at. So Paul, Emily, this was a great conversation. Thank you. And Paul, we love our CPI. So it's fun just to kind of talk about what we do and the opportunities we can have, they give us, and the opportunities we can provide with them. So, and if you're interested in learning more about what we do here at Continuing Education Workforce Training, you can email us, get a hold of us at cetrain.isu.edu. That's our website. You can also email us at cetrain at isu.edu. Did I say that already?
Yeah, no. It's you're replacing the dot with an at.
Yeah, that's right. Right?
Yeah,
I did it right.
Yes.
So Emily, we've only done 120 episodes, and I just barely got the. Here comes the big test. Yeah, here comes the big test. If I can get the phone number right, then we've made it through a podcast successfully. Or you can call us at 208-282-3372, and that's 208-32. Never mind. Just listen to the first one. Just go with the first one. Thank you for being on the show, Emily.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Really fun. Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you.